My hair dried last night such that some hair up here just like wants to lay completely forward. Having a bunch of cowlicks like right at the front. Some days, man. Most days. Hi everyone. So today I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff that I picked up during the Sephora sale, which actually I wasn't really planning on, but then they extended the sale and I was going in there to look for a moisturizer. I tried out the Dr. Jart Water Drop Moisturizer. Felt like it was not nearly as moisturizing as what I needed and ended up just wandering around looking at makeup and bought some more makeup because they extended the sale. I hadn't planned on it. I tried to do more like fun purchases for the Sephora sale the first time it came around, and this time I bought more stuff just for YouTube. So I thought I'd go over what I bought, the foundations I bought, kind of my first impressions. I've done some testing of both, and just some questions about what you guys would like to see. So I'll do the foundations first. I have done a get ready with me with this foundation already, and I think, did I do swatches? I mean, it's like kind of a half review right there. It's the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation in Blanc. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've already used a fair amount of this, even though I haven't worn it that many times. I know that you don't get a lot in this one. Here we go. I guess I could swatch it. It's very light, and the undertone is not the best undertone for me. I thought it was going to be too light for me and way wrong undertone, but actually it worked okay. So I've had some issues with this where it catches on flakiness. I've been using Differin pretty heavily, like daily, and my skin was doing okay, but now it seems to be pretty irritated. I think partially because we are approaching more wintry type weather. It's more in the 30s Fahrenheit, and I think it's just drier and my face is not happy. So I don't think it's necessarily the fault of the foundation, and it does wear pretty well considering it's a stick. I haven't had the best luck with stick foundations, which reminds me, there's another one that I don't have in front of me. I forgot I bought a bunch of foundations during this sale. Okay, that's kind of, this is why I don't like to do hauls, because it's like a little embarrassing, the amount of makeup that was purchased. Okay, so that is Blanc. I also picked this up because I had seen some of my fair-skinned friends wearing this, and I was intrigued. Pale Girl Chic, Liana, I always get it wrong, and Phoenix Courtney was wearing this. Like, well, those two ladies are like the same depth of skin as me, so it's the Nudestix Nudies Tinted Blur Stick in Light 1. This has a very peculiar undertone to it and is very sheer. See here? I don't get it. I don't get it, because it's like a tinted moisturizer but in the stick, and the color is very strange. It's like kind of gray. It's that kind of clay, pinky gray color. I've only tried to wear it fully on my face once, and it was looking pretty bad. Again, could be due to the dryness, flakes, and whatnot. A lot of liquid foundation just sits better on top of that. I also picked up, because someone had asked about it, the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra stick. So I loved, was a favorite of mine, the old formula, which actually is sitting right here. I can grab it. Of the Teint Idole Ultra foundation. This is almost empty. I just can't bring myself to finish it. This wears amazingly on my face. They reformulated it. Alcohol is pretty high on the list of ingredients now. This was alcohol free. So this is in 090 and Ivory. This is in 090 and Ivory. This is too dark for me, so I knew this was likely going to be too dark for me as well. And I mean, I think I would wear it by itself. It will make my face darker than my neck, somewhat noticeably, but it's within that kind of wiggle room of, do I really care? Does anybody else care? Doesn't always have to be a perfect match. I've come around a little bit on that, you know. Some things that are too light just look ghastly, and sometimes I think it's fine if it's just a little too dark. I don't think it matters as much as I used to. Beauty Blender Bounce Liquid Whip Longwear Foundation. I also have a Get Ready With Me where I put this on. And this one's a little dark, but not too bad. Again, it's within right there. It's usable. It's like maybe half a shade too dark, maybe a full shade. I don't know. Is that all the... No, that is not all the foundation because I'm not including what's on my face right now. So far I haven't been like... It's not disturbingly bad. It's not been excellent. I'm still not really sure what I think about that Beauty Blender foundation. This, did I wear it? I wore it by itself once, I think, and the other times I've mixed it with the Hourglass, and I think I like this. I'm gonna test that some more and just wear it alone. And that was one of the things I was kind of curious about. So for things that I know that are too dark, like for example, something I picked up from Ulta during an Ulta sale. It's in the drawer of untested foundations. So a couple of other things that I have picked up. The Dermablend Flawless Creator actually works okay on me. And the Becca Skin Love in Linen, which is, you know, a little dark. I would probably prefer to lighten this. How do you feel about me testing this with a mixer? Because people that are my skin tone aren't going to be able to wear this alone. Does anybody care if I test it alone just to give you the results of the foundation, or test it with a white mixer for the wear test? I don't know. Because it's like I wouldn't, for the ones where I just definitely would not wear them alone. Do you want me to put it on alone so you can see how it looks? Just looking for some thoughts. What I've got on my face today is the Marc Jacobs Remarcable Full Cover Foundation in 10 Ivory Light. This has been around a long time and it's expensive, and the full coverage, like the extreme full coverage thing, kind of put me off. So that's why I had never tried it. I had swatched it in store several times, and I'm gonna swatch this next to that Hourglass. I feel like at the time it was one of the like really pale shades, but now it's funny because I had in my mind thinking that might be too light for me, and then somebody asked about if I had ever tried it, and I went looking for swatches and found that the swatches, like, it was a little bit darker than the Fenty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte in 100, I believe. It just blew my mind. I'm like, really? So there's the Hourglass Blanc, and here is the Marc Jacobs. In person, when I was putting it on, I thought it looked a little darker than my neck. Right now, right this second, I don't know. I guess, I don't know. I can't really say. I feel like it's a pretty good color, though. I was expecting the undertone to be a little bit more off, but I feel like it works. So, do you want to see, since we're swatching foundations here, do you want to see the Becca? We'll stick that down here by the Beauty Blender, perhaps. It's not as bad as I was thinking it was. I'm pretty sure I've swatched the Becca foundations in the past, but I have not looked at the more yellow-toned foundations, and this one is more yellow-toned. So there's the Beauty Blender, and there is the Becca Skin Love. So it's darker than the Beauty Blender, not massively. I know I've worn this alone a couple times. It's the Dermablend Flawless Creator Multi-Use Liquid Pigments. The problem is that it keeps separating. And I keep shaking it and keep shaking it, and it sounds so liquidy in there, but then when I like use the dropper, it's like thick. I'm guessing this is an old bottle. I'm guessing because I bought it in store. Probably doesn't get purchased much. And this is in their lightest shade. What do they call this? 0N. That's not confusing. It's the same name of Cover FX. Yeah. Let's see. See how it's kind of thick? I don't know, man. I don't know what that's all about. It's a very different undertone than a lot of things I have. It feels like beigey. Okay, so this is the Dermablend. That's the Marc Jacobs, and this is the Hourglass. Hourglass is obviously the lightest of the things that I purchased. But that Dermablend, I didn't know that there was anything like even really close to being light enough, because I know Taylor likes the smooth liquid camo, I think, and that's too dark for her, so I was just kind of assuming that would be it. But I have worn that alone and it hasn't looked terrible. Kind of like the Marc Jacobs, you know? It's like I can use some more like peachy undertone, that's fine. The Lancome has that kind of peachy undertone. I mean, should we swatch this? Well, this video was supposed to be short and now it's like turning into 10 million swatches. How did that happen? There's the Lancome down there. It will get darker as it dries. So I guess we'll just let those ferment for a moment while we talk about the other non-foundation stuff, though I do have a foundation powder because I can't help myself. So I was looking for something that would be like this Pony Effect foundation powder, which is in Fair, and I saw this on Arna's channel and she said that it was very pigmented, very light. It's hard to get a very light powder foundation, and this one has kind of a warm undertone to it. I did have to buy it from eBay, and it came directly from South Korea. I was trying to buy it on Yes Style. They have the item, but Fair was always out of stock. So I was thinking like I need to try more Sephora base products, because I have a powder from them, but it doesn't have much coverage, and this is their Sephora Matte Perfection Powder Foundation, and it's in Porcelain. I did a lot of these. Maybe I'll include some little info about this. I used the Sephora Foundation Shade Finding tool. I think I looked at that for all of these purchases and let that guide me to whether or not there would be a shade that's close or an exact match. I believe this came up as an exact match when I checked against the Smashbox. Pretty much across the board I was checking against the Smashbox Studio Skin in 0.1 because that's a good foundation match for me. So it said it was an exact match. Now, you see this? Here's the Sephora, here's the Pony Effect. The Sephora looks much whiter and like cooler and just doesn't have a lot of undertone there. It's very light, which is cool, but also not really super useful for me. So here's the Sephora and here is the Pony Effect. I mean, I haven't tried it on my face yet, so I don't know, but I think this is gonna be too light. We'll see, maybe I could use it. I don't even know, because I don't set my foundation with powder foundation. That would be so disastrous. I have a hard enough time wearing just foundation, let alone sticking more coverage over the top. Whew. Did I mention this Marc Jacobs is not wearing very well on me? It's creasing. I did wear like a glowy SPF because my skin has been so dry. You can see probably some flakiness. Can you see where like my hair got stuck to my nose and it like transferred off the foundation? And I set it with my NARS powder, per usual. And that is something that I bought. I feel like I'm so scattered. I repurchased this NARS powder because I had used up my other one of it. It's the Light Reflecting Setting Powder Press. This is what I use under my eyes exclusively because it works so well. I also picked up a mini of this because I've heard good things from people that I think have more mature skin. the Hourglass Veil translucent setting powder. This was like $15, I think, and I really love when they offer minis, especially of loose powder, just because I'm trying a lot of loose powders periodically to see if I can find something that works better to set my foundation. Yesterday, I wore this foundation and did half with this and half with this, and both of them like just wore off, and it was not good. It was not a very useful test of this powder. So I have no idea what I think about this. I do like the tone. It's like a little bit, it's got like more of a yellow undertone to it, so it doesn't look like peachy or anything. The Laura Mercier's got a little bit more of a like pinky peach undertone. Not that you can really see it, but maybe a little bit. And this is more, if you put a lot on, it will give you kind of a white cast, but this just is magical. If you have dry or mature skin, you know, it's good with texture and setting things really, really well so they don't budge. So I love that NARS powder, and I feel like it's a total hidden gem nobody talks about. And speaking of minis, I also got a little mini of the Smashbox Primerizer Primer Moisturizer, because I've heard lots and lots of good things about it. Paula's Choice likes it. And I thought I would try it because I've been needing more moisture, and I've just been struggling a little bit with my face being flaky. I tried this underneath the Marc Jacobs foundation yesterday and the powders, and it was just a mess. But today's a mess too, because I used a really like glowy kind of emollient SPF to try to help with the flakiness, and it was just, it's a mess. Ooh. Oh, that looked good. Okay, so what else did I get? I did get a couple fun things. I mean, this isn't fun, really. Unless you've got like flaky lips, like myself. It's the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask, and it's in, I don't know. It's the strawberry one, right? I don't know. I'll put some on. My lips are looking, I have nothing on them except this, and that's probably worn off. I do not use the spatula that comes with it. They briefly had a set, and I wanted to do that, but then it sold out like right away. Or maybe it wasn't even supposed to be on there. It disappeared from the Sephora site, and I still had it in my cart, but it said it wasn't available. It was out of stock. So I don't know if it wasn't supposed to be on the site or what, but it does have quite the delightful smooth texture to it. So you rub your lips together, and sometimes a more thin texture like an Aquaphor. Sometimes, because I have a little bit of a bad habit of rubbing my lips together, sometimes my lips will get a little sore, which is strange. But this has like enough of a smooth kind of thickness, which doesn't sound like a good thing, that I feel like it keeps my lips from like irritating each other as they rub over each other. I do wish I had a little more color, because when my lips are pale, they're like really pale, and there's just, that didn't really do anything except add some shine. So yeah, I was expecting a little bit, tiny bit more of like an actual pink, but they still look rather corpse-like. But they make them look very soft, and I feel like they smooth them out a little bit, which I always appreciate. I got a trio of liners. There was a black and a burgundy and a brown. And this is from Tarte, and it's double take eyeliner, so it's a pen on one side and a retractable on the other. You don't get much in the retractable side, like tiny, tiny amount, which, you know, isn't too surprising because it's very cheap. It was $17 for 3 double-ended liners. So far, I have enjoyed the liquid liner, I've enjoyed the pencil liner, so I'm happy about that. And since I don't use a ton of liner, having a little mini is fine, because I'm not doing liquid liner every day by any means. It's just like once a week maybe that I do liquid liner. So I was really happy with this, and I've liked how these work. It's a felt tip liner, in case that's something you like to avoid. But I have not had any like it didn't move when I wore the liquid liner. It didn't like come down. Sometimes I'll have it where it kind of comes down around the corner of my eye, ends up like in the underneath whatever lower lash line. That did not happen. So I picked this up, and I showed this in a Pale Skin Swatches already. Since the sale started like, I don't even know, 3 weeks ago, I feel like I've had some of this stuff for a really long time. It's the Fenty Stunna Lip Paint in Unbutton, and it seemed like maybe a nude that would look like a nude on me. It is a little darker on the nude spectrum for me, and I will link the video, of course, where I tried this on. The applicator is super easy to use, but it picks up a massive amount of product, way more. Even when I scrape it off, this little applicator picks up more than I need. And I feel like it looks darker than it does in the glass. I mean, why not? I do find that I need to like keep my lips stretched out while it dries. Otherwise it will like leave kind of gaps where my lip lines are. So you can see that's a pretty intense nude color. But it does wear really well throughout the day once it does dry down and set, as long as I like let it dry like this and don't use too much. And that's definitely kind of tricky because it's so thin. It's really hard because so much is on the applicator. It's like you kind of go around and it's like the easiest application you've ever done, but then you end up having too much on your lips, and it's trickier than I was expecting because the applicator's so easy, but I have a hard time not using too much. But other than that, I like it, but it is expensive. Like 24 bucks for a lip product. I don't buy a lot of high-end lip products, so to me that just seems like insanity. Last two really fun things that I really like. I believe I used both of these in a recent video. Definitely this one. It's the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions eye palette. I have it on my eyes today because it's so pretty. They're just so pretty. The mattes are easy to build up. They're not too intense. It's not super powdery. There's a little bit of kind of powder kick up when you stick your brush in there, but not much. And I love these colors. Like, I love these colors, period. I love these colors on my eyes, period. I just love them. And they have really pretty duochrome shimmers. These three in the middle are all like duochromes of some fashion. The center one is pretty sheer, so it's more of like a topper. And the one on my tall finger that's what they tell the children to call their middle finger, is their tall finger. It's kind of like this champagne pink purple duochrome, and then the ring finger is like pink purple blue, and this one is kind of like a rose, I don't even know, rose bronze color. So those are so pretty, and I really like the mattes, and I like just the plain shimmers. Today on my lids I have the like lighter mid-toned plum, I guess we'll call it, in the crease, and also the darker plum to make it deeper in the crease. Then on my outer lid I have this kind of darker shimmery purple out here. And then I just have this in the center and kind of mixed in with that purple, and then all the way onto the inside of my lid. You'll see on me, I feel like it goes pretty pink once it's on my eyes. So if I put it in my inner corner, it's a little too pink for me. So I do feel like I don't have a good inner corner color in this palette, but that's fine because I almost always am wearing highlight. So I always just stick my highlight in my inner corner. I don't feel like that's too much of a problem. I thought I'd feel kind of limited with this like small amount of colors and them all being kind of similar, but I really I've liked every look that I've done, and I feel like they all look pretty different, and I just feel like despite how similar all these colors are, you can go a bunch of different directions, which is awesome. Last thing is the Natasha Denona Super Glow highlight. I have definitely shown this in a couple different videos, and I hadn't put on highlight yet today, so I did also put it on today. It looks like it's going to be very, you know, you would think like that looks darker than your skin tone, Nicole, quite a bit darker. But there's something about like not having a ton of base pigment that it just shows up as kind of shiny. And I'm sure if you really built it up, you would probably get some sort of like color cast. But I feel like applying a good amount to get a lot of sheen, it just looks shiny. Like if I look straight on versus to the side, I don't feel like you can see like a stripe. I do have a lot of freckles around this region, so sometimes that can help hide when a highlight's a little dark for me. But I feel like even in this case, I don't think it really does that. So I've been enjoying that quite a lot, and I have shown that in several videos. So let's see here. Like there's that Lancome Teint Idole Ultra. It's funny how bright the Hourglass looks compared to everything else. So this is the Teint Idole Ultra Liquid in 90N, the Smooth Liquid, no, the Dermablend Flawless Creator Drops in 0N, Marc Jacobs, what the heck, Remarcable in 10, Light Ivory, Hourglass, Spanish, and Blanc. What's in the middle there? The Nudestix Nudies in Light or Fair, whatever that one's called. Teint Idole Ultra Stick in 90N, and Beauty Blender Bounce in 1.10. I don't think I mentioned that. And the Becca Skin Love in Linen. I feel like you're focusing on my face, not on my hand. So, let me know, what foundations are you interested in a review on next? Do you have any opinion on me showing it with a mixer and testing it with a mixer if it's too dark for me to wear alone, that I don't really want to wear it alone? Let me know. Yeah, let me know if you picked anything up, how it's working for you, and are you tired of sales? I'm kind of tired of sales. I don't want to think about what I need to buy. And I just bought a stove for the house. And I'm thinking about buying a new Christmas tree because I would like to have one that's pre-lit. Because we had a bunch of strands of lights die last year, and they were only a couple years old, and I was very irritated. I'm like, I need a pre-lit tree. They're on sale at Target this week, so like 40% off. So if you're in the market for a tree, now is a great time to buy one from Target. This hair, what is happening with my hair? Oh, I don't like this length. I know everybody likes it better with short hair, but I don't like it. I feel like I have no options. Like I have to straighten it and that's it. I can't just let it be because it looks awful all the time. And I can't curl it because it looks strange. And I just want it to be longer. Even if nobody likes it longer. I like it longer. Okay, I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for watching my video. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, requests. I always love hearing from you guys in the comments. And I've been getting a lot of comments lately, and I so appreciate that. And it helps out my channel, which is like a bonus double win situation. If you want to see more videos from me and you aren't already, please do subscribe. Turn on notifications, the little bell if you want a notification every time I upload a video, which is, I'm aiming for 2 times a week, though it doesn't always happen that way, what with 3 children and life. Some things just don't work out, especially when it's not your job. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you soon.